Hey, welcome. Today we're going to do a yin yoga practice for the fall season. I don't know how familiar you are with yin yoga. It's a little bit different than hatha or vinyasa. I've heard a lot of classes call slow flow yin, not the same. In yin yoga, we hold poses for 3 to 5 minutes. We use props, so please get yourself a bolster. If you don't have a yoga bolster, you can actually just take a pillow and wrap it in a blanket like a sausage. That's really helpful. Even like a couch cushion usually will do the trick. And blocks, normally I would say get a phone book, but we don't have phone books anymore. I wonder if the Yellow Pages went out of business. Anyways, if you can find something like this shape, that would be helpful. Let's talk about fall. It's a time of change, transition. For some of us, it might feel like grief a little bit, almost like grieving the loss of summer. Also, this idea of change. And when we practice yin yoga, we're actually working with the Chinese traditional medicine elements and meridian system. So that's what differentiates it the most from vinyasa, hatha, slow flow yoga, is that yin yoga works with Chinese traditional medicine. It's a completely different system. Well, not completely different, but it's different. It's sort of this marriage between Chinese traditional medicine and hatha yoga, and it was inspired by kung fu as well. So it's a lot of different Eastern traditions mixed together. When we look at the fall, we're looking at the metal element of yin yoga or Chinese traditional medicine. And the metal element is the heaviest. So when it's imbalanced, we feel heavy, we feel loss, we feel grief, we might feel depressed. And I think a lot of these feelings are fall feelings as the weather changes and gets colder. Again, some of us are just grieving the loss of a hot girl summer or a fun summer. And maybe the grief goes a bit deeper. This element also has to do with the lungs, the meridian system of the lungs. And so when it's imbalanced, we might have respiratory issues. And isn't it funny that this is cold season, right? So as this shift happens and as we get rigid and don't want to release that change that's happening naturally, we might get a cold or have breathing issues, which also makes sense because, like our windows are closed more, we're outside less, there's dust, these sorts of things. So in today's practice, we're going to do some heart-opening yin yoga postures. We're going to be holding them for 3 to 5 minutes each. And we're just going to allow for letting go and maybe even loss or grief. And you might cry, and that is 100% okay. 100% okay. I'm here with you. I like to say we store our issues in our tissues. And so sometimes with this release and the sitting in the release, it brings up stuff. But remember that letting things come up is part of letting things go. So we'll go ahead and start, and I'll talk less as we go. Oh, if you want a playlist for this class, I have 2 wonderful playlists on Spotify. One of them is called Yin Tuition. It's actually one that a yoga teacher friend, Jazz, made. And the other one is called Femi-yin. So if you want like more feminine music, it's a lot of chanting with female voices, and there's a lot of mantras with the goddesses. It's really quite beautiful. So follow me on Spotify, Lauren Rudick, and yeah, you can get those classes, Femi-yin or Yin Tuition. Also my Shavasana playlist called Lauren's Shavasana Songs, also super nice. So choose any of those. Okay, we're going to start on our backs. You can move your props away. We're sort of gonna build up. So the first posture we're going to do is the banana pose, bananasana. Bananasanas. It's a banana. Okay. Just kidding. Before we do that, we're going to breathe. So lay on your back. Close your eyes. Take a moment. We talked about this metal element being associated with the lungs. So let's just clear out. Let's just breathe. Sometimes in breath, we feel letting go. Take a big breath in through your nose. Maybe you want to put your hands on your belly or your chest. Out through the mouth. Do this again 4 or 5 more times. Slow breath in through the nose. Slowly through the mouth. In through the nose. Slowly out the mouth. Keep going. Let's try this breath a little bit differently now. So in through the nose, slow breath. And as you blow out your mouth, make like a ring shape with your mouth. As if you're whistling, both nose sound. This is an anxiety reducing breath. So in through the nose. A silent whistle out through the mouth. The reason why we close and purse our lips like this is that it slows the breath out. And when we slow the breath out, we also slow down our heart rate. We calm our bodies and minds. I love the sound of that out breath, like the wind. A wind sweeping away what we don't need. Now let's move into our first posture, the banana pose. So take the arms above the head, palms touch. You can interlace your fingers if you want to, and we'll start by moving our upper bodies to the left. And then your lower body is also going to move towards the left, so it makes the shape of a banana. Stay here, you'll start to feel a nice stretch along the side of your body. Breathe into it. Now in yin yoga, we also talk about the edge. We talk about finding an edge. The edge is the place where you feel a bit of discomfort in the stretch, but you can hold it there still. You can hold it there while still breathing and while relaxing your face. You can always stay in a pose at this edge for the full duration, or after some time, you can go deeper if your body is calling you to, and go to another edge. So in this duration of this banana posture, if you want to go to another edge, just walk your feet, your left foot to the side more, your right foot to the side more, towards your arms, right? This feels so good. Honestly, I don't do this stretch enough. I always forget it exists, and it's so good. Hopefully you're on a carpet or a yoga mat, not a slippery floor. So the rubber of my mat is actually like helping to hold me here in place. There's something so comforting about this stretch. Letting go can be so scary. And then when we finally do it, we realize out on the other side, we're just fine, if not better. If you want an even deeper edge, eventually you might cross the right leg over the left. If that's too much, don't do it. You can play the edge, you can see if it's okay, and if it's not, you go back. Paul Grilly, the founder of Yin Yoga, he says, we don't use the body to get into the poses. We use the poses to get into the body. Once we get into our bodies, sometimes we get into our minds, and sometimes we get into deep, far reaches of the mind, and sometimes we don't like that place. But we have to learn. Our work is to learn to love every nook and cranny, every scar, every dark place, every crack. We become like a beautiful antique, weathered with imperfections, but more and more beautiful, because each single one has a memory, a lesson, an experience. Gently release. Start by lifting your head up towards the sky or the ceiling. You can gently bring your back to center, gently undo your legs. If you want to counter, you're welcome to just bend the knees for a moment. Windshield wipe them if that feels good. And then we'll take this posture on the other side. So the legs will go to the right now. I actually like to do my arms first. We're going to do arms to the right, legs to the right, making a banana shape. Let me try this again. Go on your back. I'm going on my side. If you go on your side, the stretch doesn't work. So let's go on the back. Then shift ourselves to the right. 2 shoulders on the ground. Now this might be enough. Like I already feel a stretch here. If that's enough for you, you just stay there. Maybe this is your first edge. If you want more, you start to walk your legs over to the right as well. Like a banana. And then find the breath. So there are some tenets of Yin Yoga. Those tenets are find your comfortable edge. That's the place where you can comfortably hold, right? Where you feel the stretch, but you can be there. The next one is stay a while. And finally, breathe. If you haven't practiced Yin Yoga before, this is probably not comfortable. Sitting with ourselves, it can be so difficult. try to let the mind calm and slow down. When this metal element is out of balance, we might feel stuck. We also might have like a perfectionist mentality and rigid beliefs or rigidity in our mindset. And it's hard to let go of. If you are a perfectionist or you're feeling a rigid mindset right now, it's probably pretty hard to turn off your mind, right? But I believe in you, just try. The best we can do is try. This reminds me of a story. When one of my little nephews was about 3, I was at his house, or my sister's house, right? And my dad was coming. My dad was coming to stay over. And we were playing in the room that my dad was going to stay in. And we made such a huge mess. I think there was blocks, Lego kind of stuff. And then I heard my dad's car pull up in the driveway. And I said to my little nephew, like, oh my gosh, we've got to clean so fast. Grandpa's here, he's here. You know, we don't want him to walk into a messy room. We want to have a nice presentation for him. We got to clean it before he comes upstairs. You know, I was really stressing about it and feverishly like putting stuff away. And I'm saying, help me, let's clean up. By the way, if you want to come to your next edge, please do. So I'm going to just walk my feet over to the side a little more. Ooh, that's enough. It's so subtle. I moved my foot maybe an inch, but it's enough. Anyways, so we're cleaning. And I was like, come on, we got to get it clean before Grandpa comes upstairs. We got to get it cleaned. And he put his hand on my knee. And he was 3 years old and looks me dead in the eyes. And he goes, Auntie Ham, we're just going to do our best. 3-year-old stopped me in my tracks and made me realize, like, sometimes our best is good enough. I have said before, you know, there's this expression, it's the thought that counts. Sometimes I'm like, it's actually not the thought that counts, it's the execution that matters. I think nice thoughts about people all the time and often forget to call them, text them, send them the card I wanted to send. You know what I mean? It is the execution that matters, but there is something to say about honoring doing your best. And in that moment, my 3-year-old nephew reminded me that sometimes our best is enough. And every time, we should honor doing our best, right? There's something really noble and beautiful in that. If you're feeling called for more, you can cross your leg over, but if that's too much, don't do it. Find your personal edge. Just let everything release that doesn't serve you. Metal is heavy. Let your body feel heavy on the ground. Keep breathing. We'll gently release. You can start with your upper body, moving it back to center, and then slowly your lower body. Maybe you want to bend your knees to get out of this. Do any like counter poses or movements that you want. Yin yoga has no alignment. It's all about, oh, does that feel good? Is that my edge? It's a really beautiful opportunity for like self-discovery as well. So the next posture we will do is a supported bridge. This is where you'll need a block. If you don't have a block, you can actually just take like a towel and roll it up. So make like a roll with a towel. That's fine for this one. We will lie on our backs. I've also just gone and got my phone, so if you see me looking at my phone, it's to keep time. It was lock screening where I had it before, so I had to move it. So let's come on our backs. Your knees will be bent. Take a block or your towel. And if you have a rolled up towel, you can start like rolling it just half, and then if you want another edge, you can roll it more. So you could have like first edge, second edge, third edge, you know. If your back doesn't feel good, you can also just lay like this. But if not, you can lift your hips and then just slide your block or your rolled towel underneath your sacrum like this. The sacrum is the lowest part of the spine where the tailbone is. And we'll be here for a few minutes, so breathe. At some point in this posture, if you want to go to even more of an edge, you might have the urge to straighten your legs at some point. You're welcome to do that. So your legs, as you get deeper into this posture, can move further away from you. I have my hands on my belly, and I'm rolling my shoulders a little bit underneath me, but if you want to just have your palms down by your sides, you can. Again, yin yoga is so much of a discovery of ourselves. It can be scary. It's a lot about facing ourselves in the stillness. But again, if we can just learn to meet ourselves in the darkness, in those nooks and crannies, and realize it's part of what makes us strong, resilient, and who we are, we can let go and start to feel a lot more free. This is the lesson of the metal element. What if instead of feeling loss or grief or depression or stuck or scared at this time of transition, what if instead we found reverence, wonderment, curiosity? We could look at fall as a sad time where the days get shorter, where there's more darkness, it's cold, the trees are getting barren, the leaves are falling off. Or we can look at this time in reverence for the beauty of nature's cycles and our own. How the trees illuminate their leaves, how beautiful the lakes are with mist on them in the morning, how we get the opportunity to cozy up because it's finally sweater season. Enjoy a hot chocolate with our loved ones. It's cozy. What if we have reverence and appreciation and gratitude for this time of change, and an open mind of wonderment and curiosity of what's next, even if we don't know or see the path ahead? This is part of the teachings of the metal element, and I think this is part of the teaching of fall, where at its transition we become really pensive, time of reflection. If you feel called to go to your next edge, please do so. So if you have a towel rolled, just roll the towel more or roll another one on top of it. You can always pause the video for that. Or if you have a block and want to go deeper, you just lift the block height. And play with it, make sure it feels comfortable. Meet yourself where you are. and accept that place. If you feel called to go even deeper, you can find your edge. Play with the posture. And believe it or not, that was a full 5 minutes. So let's slowly come out of this. Unroll your hips from the block or pillow or rolled towel. And just place the block on your side and hang here for a moment. At this point, we're going to turn onto our bellies. So however it makes sense for you to come up. Maybe you want to just roll to one side and slowly lift and make your way onto your belly. So we're going to do a Sphinx pose. And if your low back is sore anyway, you can actually take that rolled up towel and put it across your hips and lay on it. I love that. I can demonstrate with a bolster, but this is probably too high for me. Oh, actually, no, it's not. It feels fantastic. So if you are wanting to go into a Sphinx pose, it looks like this. So Sphinx pose is completely on your belly. And then you just use your elbows to prop you up. If this doesn't feel good on your lower back, that's when you would roll your towel or something and put it underneath your hips. If you want to go into seal pose, it's like an up dog with your legs on the ground. You would straighten your arms. Or you can do it this way with your bolster or towel on your hips. And you would be here. Oh, that feels great. If this doesn't feel good on your wrists, you can turn them. You can also stack fists or, again, be here. When we practice yin, again, we're just finding our own personal edge, our own comfort zone. We're exploring our own bodies. You can turn the palms up if that's better for you. Breathe. And you'll notice some poses feel harder than others. Some poses might feel less comfortable. And the reason for that is that the issues are in our tissues, right? Sometimes we get into a pose and stuff just comes up in the mind and you're like, wait, what? Where did that come from? This is the challenge again. It's learning to sit with ourselves and be still and let go of the things that we've been holding on to, the things that we don't need anymore. And that may come with grief, but it's okay. We're ending a cycle. If you want to find your next edge, you can. If you're doing seal pose like me, just let's make sure that we're not sinking into our shoulders. That will cause shoulder pain. So it is a little bit active. This is kind of like a peak pose in this practice because we're being a little bit active here, rolling our shoulders away from the ears. And we'll only do a 3-minute hold, so we're actually almost done. You've got this. Wonderful job. Gently release. If you noticed, I instinctively tucked my back toes. And then slowly lift up. Move the bolster, block, towel, whatever you have under you, if there's anything away from you. Let's just wiggle our tails a little bit. And we'll thread the needle. So start with your right arm. You can do the full lift up and thread if you want to. I'm going to take a smaller motion. So I'm just going to thread my right arm between the wrist and the knee of the left side. And then I like to bring my arm up and diagonally across. If you want to do that, you can. And I'm making this like pretty yin. So if I was doing it in a vinyasa class, I would go like up like this and stretch all the way, move the arm and keep it super active and keep my knees over my shoulders, but I'm actually leaning back into my hips because I'm yinning it. You can also tuck your toes like this. You just want it to be comfy. Looking for a stretch in the back of the shoulder. You know, we're doing a 3-minute hold, so it has to be sustainable. And then we find breath. Halfway there. Actually, just over. When your mind gets busy, you breathe more deeply. Thirty seconds left. If you're carrying any tension in your jaw or your face, try to release. Let it go. Let's slowly come up. Great job. And take the other side. You know where to go. Take your time to get there. Find your edge. Everything's going to be okay. Transitions are hard. Changing of seasons is challenging, not just in the world, but in our lives, our personal seasons. Autumn is almost always a time for deep reflection as the winter season comes and things start to change. Sometimes it feels like doom and gloom, but maybe it's an opportunity to take rest, almost like a hibernation. Take rest, reflect, and then emerge new, emerge better. You know what we do have always? Our breath. Thich Nhat Hanh said, feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky, but conscious breathing is my anchor. When the mind leaves us, we come back to breath. Halfway through. Oh, just kidding, actually. We're only doing 3 minutes. We're almost done. So slowly come up. If you want to wag your tail, you can, or make any circles or counter movements, feel free. And for our final posture, we will do a supine twist. So lay on your back, supine on the spine. Any supine twist that you want. If you've been, practicing with me for a few weeks now, you know lots of different twists on your back, so you can do whichever one works for you. Some options are to just do a gentle twist like this, or you can separate your legs. If you're feeling very twisty, you can cross one leg over the other or do this shape. It's totally up to you. Believe it or not, I'm actually not very twisty in that way. Like the crossing of the legs is often too much for me, so I'm just going to do this. And in yin yoga, when we twist, we actually keep our palms face up, not face down. It's just a little bit different. So close your eyes and settle into this twist. Let it feel good. You can also cactus your arms. Yin yoga is about curiosity, really. It asks us to look inside and be curious about our bodies. And when we have that curiosity about our bodies, our edge, we're attuned, maybe we can extend it off the mat, and in this time of change, this season of change, we can find curiosity for what's to come, an open heart, an open mind, rather than feeling scared, stuck, grieving the loss. Right? The metal element is about heart opening, really. We're opening our hearts, opening the lungs, taking really deep breaths so that we feel like more steadfast and steady about change. When we approach things with curiosity, there's like a safety in that. Right? There's less opportunity for disappointment if we're not predicting an outcome. There's less opportunity for disappointment if we are not predicting an outcome. Halfway through. very gently switch sides. If you need to take any counter movements, sway the legs, hug your knees, you can. And when you're ready, take the same twist on the other side. Breathe. Let your heart open with each breath. Think about reverence for this change of season. Just about halfway. Keep breathing. "30 more seconds, my love." Very gently release. Windshield wipe the legs one last time, bring your arms in. And then lay in Shavasana. If you want to do a Yin Shavasana, especially after those back bends, you can take your towel, your bolster, your blanket, your blocks, and maybe put them under your knees like this. And just lay here. want to close with a really beautiful mantra. So if you're playing music, you can press pause or lower the volume. It's actually the invocation for Anusara Yoga, and it reminds us to align with our highest self and our highest truth that resides within, which is a really beautiful connection with this fall season, right? As we move through change, just try to align with your truth within as you move through this change. Try to be your highest self even when it's challenging. So I'll sing this invocation for you and you can just listen. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanjaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanjaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Please stay in the Shavasana as long as you like. I hope you find your way through this season with reverence and curiosity. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for joining me on your mats. Namaste.